Hello, my friends. I know we don't always do episodes on astrology, but I know you guys are very used to me talking about it here and there in the podcast. So today I want to bring attention to a transit that happened on January 26th as Neptune moved into Aries. And I want to talk about what this means for your intuition. Okay, how this is going to affect you in your life depending on where your rising sign is. This is what I would consider a major astrological milestone. Okay, so it's not just affecting charts, it's shaping collective consciousness, creative expression, identity, intuition, and how you actually live your lives in the years to come. This is a rare moment we have not seen since the 1800s, which none of us were around for. If you ever feel like life is asking you to be both dreamy and driven at the same time, you're going to really feel seen with this transit. So what is Neptune? First, let's ground on what Neptune actually is in astrology. Neptune is the ruler of dreams and imagination, intuition and spiritual connection, compassion and empathy, artistry and the unseen world, dissolving boundaries between what's inner and outer. It moves slowly, okay, taking about 14 years to travel through each sign. So when it shifts signs, it marks a generational rhythm change in how we experience these themes. In the 14 years Neptune was in Pisces, we collectively learned to feel deeply, dream wildly, empathize broadly, and dissolve old structures personally and culturally. But feeling and doing are different, and that's where this new era begins. But first, can we think about anyone who's had children in the last 14 years? They would have Neptune in Pisces, just like my daughter does. So putting that into perspective might help you understand. A lot of your children having Neptune in Pisces have certain ideas about dreams and imagination. They have deeply spiritual connections because Pisces is the most spiritual sign and Neptune is the most spiritual planet. So it's kind of a really fun arrangement. So just keep that in mind. Let's continue on. As I said, on January 26th, Neptune re-entered Aries full-time, beginning a 14-year journey that lasts until around 2039. Aries is the first sign of the zodiac. It's a fearless sign, ruled by Mars. It's all about self-assertion, new beginnings, courage, identity, and action, saying, I am before anything else. So this is not the dreamy, passive Neptune of Pisces anymore. This is dreams with drive, intuition in motion, a spiritual push toward living your vision instead of just feeling it. Neptune in Aries is like a divine agent saying, your dreams want embodiment, not just imagination. This transit is asking us to bring spiritual inspiration into real life, everyday life. Act with compassion and courage. To trust intuition before the road is clear, okay? And to create with heart and fire. So for the creative women, which is everybody who listens to this podcast, I know you ladies, and you are all very creative in your own rights. If you're a creative soul, like a musician, a writer, painter, maker, storyteller, this transit is your time to turn inner visions into outward art. Yes, ma'am. So Neptune fuels imagination and your connection to something higher. And Aries brings momentum and audacity. So instead of waiting to feel ready, you might feel new artistic urges that refuse to be ignored. You might feel bursts of inspiration that come with physical urge to act, right? We're not just dreaming up this idea. We actually feel like we have to get it started. Some ideas that feel spiritual and urgent all at once. This is intense, this energy. Okay. You also might have creative collaborations that feel destined. This transit is like a cosmic get off the sidelines pass. It's saying you can trust that impulse under your ribs. It doesn't always feel neat. It doesn't always have a method or structure. Yet Aries is courageous, not cautious, but the spark is the message. Okay. So for my mamas, this one is so juicy for you. Motherhood is constantly navigating between self-sacrifice and self-expression, right? Between like giving and just being, between intuition and action. Neptune in Aries invites you to bring your inner life into your everyday life, not as an escape, but as a resource. So this could show up as feeling intuitively led before your rational brain catches up, or trusting your parental instincts even when others doubt you. Choosing ways to mother that feel alive instead of tiring. Or it could be creative play with your kids that feels also spiritual and joyful. Or it might look like guiding your children into courage and intuition, which is something as a mom myself, I've always tried to do, is bring intuition into my child's life. This is the perfect time for that. And here's the important part. This isn't about perfection. It's about owning your inner authority, your voice, your path, your yes, because Aries wants you to lead, okay, even in your home. All right, so in relationships, Neptune tends to blur boundaries and deepen emotional connections. I always like to say that Neptune, it's kind of like wearing those rose-colored glasses, like how you can see the good in that special person. Neptune helps us do that, which is kind of amazing in a lot of ways. But Aries wants independence, authenticity, and action. So when Neptune is in Aries, relationships can feel more raw and honest, more magnetic or intense, more purpose-driven, or sometimes confusing until you clarify your needs. This transit asks you, are you in this connection because it feels spiritually nourishing, or because it fills a gap? Side note, if you are going through a breakup right now, which could definitely happen, once you take those rose-colored glasses off and you recognize that the connection that you have with someone is not spiritually fulfilling, and in fact, it's been there because it fills a gap for you, then you're also going to get that Aries energy, which gives you the courage to speak your truth clearly and to lean into what truly matters. And so Aries can really help you here to move out of that situation and give you the motivation and the fire to move forward into something else. So you're not going to be stuck in this forever. And I know sometimes it feels like that, but this is not passive Neptune waiting for love to happen. This is Neptune with gas on its foot, moving toward love that feels real and authentic. So you have a lot to look forward to. Now, we're going to do some sign by sign. These are going to be according to your rising sign, because wherever your rising sign is on your chart, that determines where Neptune is right now and how this is going to be affecting you directly, which area of your life this is going to be affecting you. So if you don't already know your rising sign, you can pull it up on astro.com by putting in your birth date, birth time, and birthplace. It will tell you exactly what yours is. So since Neptune is a slow outer planet transit that plays out over years, we're going to touch on the rising signs for how it will feel in these first few waves of this Neptune activation right now, okay? But understand this is the beginning of a 14-year cycle. So the things that Neptune in Aries is triggering on your chart will continue to expand and flow for the next 14 years. Okay. It's important to go over it because it's really cool to see what you may be being led to in the next 14 years, especially with the Aries, which is just the fire and the motivation. There's going to be action here. And that's why I want you looking at it from this perspective from the start of this cycle. So we'll go ahead and begin with Aries rising. This is happening in your first house. Neptune is activating your identity and sense of self. This can feel like emerging from roles that were just too small for you, like they just didn't fit anymore. And like you're discovering a softer, more intuitive, personal power. Your call is to align action with your soul's truth. For Taurus rising, this is happening in your 12th house. This may subtly transform how you value yourself and what you feel you deserve. Neptune can dissolve old scarcity beliefs, so make your choices that reflect what truly feeds your soul. For Gemini rising, this is happening in your 11th house. So Neptune stirs dreams around your future path and your social world. You may meet creative, inspired people who expand your vision or call you toward new ideas. This is usually like a group of people in the 11th house, or it could be even social media. For Cancer rising, this is happening in your 10th house. So your goals and direction could feel more spiritually anchored. And this is also like your most public house. This is your work house as well. So you're going to feel more spiritually and intuitively anchored in your work. And if you don't, for sure, you're going to feel like you need to take some action and change that. For Leo rising, this is happening in your 9th house. So your beliefs or spiritual framework might shift. You may become more interested in soulful or artistic pursuits, or maybe even visiting foreign lands that feel purposeful and lead you towards deeper self-expression. Like I'm really channeling in here this vibe of, eat, pray, love, where you're going on these adventures outside of the country just to fulfill something spiritual inside. So who knows what that's going to be for you. For Virgo rising, hey friends, that's me too. It's happening in our 8th house. So Neptune can deepen your compassion and transform how you serve others, especially in ways that merge creativity with care. Perhaps through intuitive work, healing, or expressive arts. And I feel like that fits perfectly, doesn't it? For Libra rising, this is your 7th house. So this is like your partnership, your even business partnership, but mostly like a marriage or a spouse. Relationships may become more soulful and less transactional. Also, if it doesn't fit that, you may let that go, right? You might attract people who open your heart and invite you to love with depth, not just surface harmony. For Scorpio rising, we're in the 6th house. This is your daily routines. It could be work too if you work for somebody else, where it's your schedule, it's your workout routine, it's all the things you do in your day. So your daily life and routines can become more inspired and meaningful. You might desire work that feels soulful and creative rather than mechanical. If you're in something now that's been checking all the boxes, except for you're not really passionate about that, you might be looking at a change. Okay. For Sagittarius rising, this is your 5th house. This is people and passions you love that may feel spiritually anchored. Neptune invites you to expand into love that feels heart-led and adventurous. This is the creative house. This is the childlike imagination. So you might be adding more deeper meaning into becoming more like a child and just enjoying life sometimes. I know Sagittarius would love that, right? Capricorn rising, this is going to be your 4th house, of course. This is the home and the family house. And it could transform in quiet but powerful ways. You might let go of what doesn't support your emotional foundation and build something that feels more free. You also might be looking at making your home as a little bit more spiritual place. You might have a space in your home that's dedicated to meditation or prayer or something like that, just to bring that into your home more often. For Aquarius rising, this is going to be your third house. Intuition may guide more of your soul and self-expression and social identity. You might feel called into community or causes that matter in soulful ways because the third house represents your short-term travel. So like where you would drive to every day, drive your child to school and back, drive to work and back, your community, your neighborhood. So you might be seeing more spiritual connections there or needing more of that. For Pisces rising, this is your second house. This is your Neptune return as a theme again. Dreams become more actionable. You may feel inner visions guiding real world steps, which is going to be very exciting for you. And it might feel at home here, but with Aries in your second house, you are called into action when it comes to self-worth. So if you're not feeling totally in line with how you value yourself, you're wanting to take action around that. And this is a good thing for you. So here's the nitty-gritty of this transit. We're moving from dream orientation, which was Neptune and Pisces, to dream embodiment, which is Neptune and Aries. It's not enough to just feel the vision anymore. Aries wants us to live it. Take action. If you've ever felt a pull toward creativity, impact, intuition, or inner leadership, this transit is giving you both permission and a cosmic wind at your back. We can still feel deeply. We can still connect spiritually, but now we do it with agency, courage, and action. So let this be your frontier. Be intuitive and directional. Be soulful and active. Be inspired and embodied. Thank you for joining me today, my friend. We will see you next time.